For me, it was always the story of the snake. When the water gets to your ankle, everybody's like, get out, that's enough water for you. We grow up with this fear that there's something in the water and at any point it could take you. We get on the boat goes out, we jump out onto the water, and then I start freaking out. I'm drowning, somebody save me, I am drowning. It's very difficult for us to give meaning to things that we don't understand, especially in the space of water. It's a question of how do we re-look at this whole narrative. My name is Zandile Ndlovu and I'm a 32-year-old from South Africa. So I grew up in Soweto, which is very far from the sea. Like a lot of us growing up, you know, we don't really come across the sea until that one trip that happens when you get closer to the ocean. The myths around the ocean growing up have always been about a big snake that takes little children. As the water pulls in, when the waves are crashing and pulling the water in, and if any of the kids didn't make it out, the snake took them. My grandmother will say, Umnumzan is out, and that means that the big snake is out and everyone must be careful.
I mean, growing up as black young people was impossible. Like, a pool was daunting. A normal swimming pool was daunting.
My whole life, I've always felt like I don't fit in. Never finding home in the spaces where I was at. My corporate experience was interesting. It felt uncomfortable because there was a box. I didn't want to sit in the woman box. I didn't want to sit in the black box. I didn't want to sit in any box. I just wanted to live my heart out in the way that I've always lived my heart out. In 2016, I was going through a little bit of a hard time in my life. It was a little bit of a rattle at the end of my marriage. And I decided to go to Bali. I was riding my bicycle down to breakfast and I heard this guy saying, snorkel trip, snorkel trip. And I mean, I'd always wanted to go on a snorkel trip, but it had never happened. And so I signed up and the guy gave me my mask and snorkel fins and that was that. And we jump out into the water. As I watched the dive master at the bottom of the ocean, I took out my snorkel and I dived down to the bottom. And I was with him, picking up these shells and looking at him. And I'll never forget the feeling. There was this place that existed that was for me. I had never in my life been more at home. And then I come across this video and I'll never forget it because I thought, what kind of witchery is this? These three girls are on the top of the water and they just dive in, right? And they're swimming along the reef. They don't have cylinders on their backs. And I just thought, what the hell is going on? So then I obviously go onto my laptop to find out what it is. And I found out that that was free diving. You dive into space and you're just by yourself and all that surrounds you is just a beauty and a peace like you've never known. And you're free from what is to come. You're free from what has happened. All there is the now. The brain relaxes. It's not thinking about the many things that it does. There's nothing else that matters than that moment. The first in every single reaction is shock. You know, everyone will say, but that's white people stuff. But it's accessible to everybody. And the idea that water sports have always been white sports is incorrect. And we have a responsibility to kind of change that. Becoming the first Black freediving instructor is not an individual achievement. I think it's a country's achievement because it talks about opportunity and access and the ability to dream even from where we come from. So I decided to start the Black Mermaid Foundation because, one, there is a present fear when it comes to water, when it comes to Black and brown people. I wanted to create a safe space to have discussions and how does that open up opportunities? These are spaces that are largely untransformed in South Africa. The Black Mermaid Foundation was so much bigger than being a freediving instructor. It wasn't about that. It was saying, how do we go back and change the narrative and allow people to dream bigger? It's not just, about the freediving aspect. It's not just your work. It's how you show up everywhere. You just need to be present enough to realize, to just take a breath. The obstacles that I had to go over is a lot of mind stuff. Detaching from the fears of deep waters, detaching from the fear of the unknown, and somehow finding what it truly means to be present. Could the snake be there? I don't know, but what I am is me, and I'm here, and all there is the present. Freediving has taught me that the ocean is an alive creature, and for me, as I go into the waters, I arrive here not with fear, but with respect.
Hennessy. For the rookie. Carissa is Breeze's hero.
Excitement's in the air, day number 1 of the Oi Rio Pro.
2019, I qualified for the Dream Tour, which was my ultimate goal. To think that this could actually be my job, to be a professional surfer and to travel around the world. Everything is so quick and new when you're going to locations that you've never been before and you're surfing against your idols. And
Carissa is Breeze's hero.
It's pretty crazy just going straight into that. I had a couple okay results.
It looks like it's going to be enough for the rookie to make the jump over the 3-time world champion. And she can't believe it.
I've got goosebumps.
What an effort.
It definitely went through a big period of the rest of the year where I lost my sense of self. I was trying to find that balance of who is Brisa on land and who is Brisa in the water.
We've made the decision to cancel the 2020 Championship Tour
due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
I remember they made an announcement on the beach. My dad was like, we need to get out of here. So after having that mindset that I was going to be traveling around the globe, I ended up being on the most isolated place on the planet, Namotu Island.
Well, we're kind of postponed, as they say, as there's no flights coming into Fiji at this time. We can't let anyone else come on the island. It's basically full isolation.
So we're kind of going through a food check because kind of make sure that we're able to eat while we're here. A lot of mayonnaise. I'm not too psyched on that.
We are trying to salvage all the broccoli we have. Brisa's making a pickled carrot. Let's just say we're prepared for a zombie apocalypse if it ever hits Namotu.
Watching Dad's live Instagram video because we're too scared to go outside. So we're watching what's happening and the windows are boarded. So here on Namotu, it's a small crew. We all have to, work together, and you gotta work for those girls at Cloud Break. So safety first, kids. What are we doing today? Surfing! We're taking that guy surfing? What? Spending time with the amazing Fijian crew that live here. It just brings me so much joy to connect with them and to connect with others. The Fijians live the most beautiful and interesting and simple life where I feel like the whole world can take a lot from. They appreciate every moment. It reminds me so much of growing up in Costa Rica with my family. Every day we were out in nature and life was an adventure.
There's a snake in here. What you doing in here?
I think it's really cool that Brisa came today to surf with us out here.
Oh my god, I've been wanting to surf with her for so long. And even like when Keisha said that she texted, I was like jumping in the car and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make me cry.
These girls are like charging Cloudbreak. They're pretty much like the first generation to be surfing out there. Their role models have been boys. So I think it's really cool that you're actually going to be the inspiration for little girls coming up.
I have a couple boards I wanted to give to the board riders.
This is actually the board that I rode at Karama's, so it's a pretty special board. They've definitely been dear to my heart, so if they could go to a good home and hopefully inspire, you know, a little girl to go surfing, I think that would be amazing. It would make my day.
Cloudbreak is a beast, and it is scary and raw and unpredictable.
I never knew nobody that could change me, make me new. I never knew nobody that could break me like you do. I never knew nobody to rename me, displace me. Oh no, I never knew nobody that could shame me, erase me like you do. I never thought something more awaits me. I never knew someday I would take I never knew nobody could do it like you. I never knew nobody could do it like you. I never knew nobody could do it like you. I never knew nobody could do it like you, like you. Like you, I never knew nobody could take it, not break it. I never knew somebody who could flip it and shake it. I never knew a lover who could break me, reshape me. I never thought something more awaits me. I never knew someday love would take me. Yeah, I never knew nobody could do it like you. I never knew nobody could do it like you, like you, like you. I never.
I definitely had a different mindset after going out there that I thought that I never would reach. It was like this embracing this fear. It wasn't the fear of Cloudbreak itself. It was embracing other fears in my life, of kind of like those fears that haunted me in my rookie year. You know, that sense of self.
Amazing, Grace. I felt like all your voices combined in my ear. Like everyone that's like helped me, like in my ear. We're just like, you gotta go. That was amazing.
It's funny because Shay's like, was that cooler than Brisa winning a contest? And I'm like, I think it was, because that was like mental conquer. It was also, you know, conquering nature. It was amazing. That was a big one, so I'm pretty stoked.
Right on.
Whatever the normal is going to be, which I have no idea what the future holds, I hope I take what I've learned here into the real world. For you to be happy and to be successful is to find the love within yourself and to love others and to hopefully get the opportunity to love what you do, and also just connecting back to the ocean. I think that's what it was all about for me, was finding that deep love I have for surfing. And I feel a lot more connected than I have in a long time. I see the sea within you and me, the storms that have passed, the clarity in this moment, the change of the tide. Breathe it in, let it go. Feel the motion, for within every drop, we are the ocean.
Okay, man overboard. Go get him.
You okay, Charlie? I'm coming to get you. You just stay right there.
I'm done with a ball top. There we go.
Ooh, that one's better.
That's it. That's perfect. This is my spirit animal. Woo! Hi. They're calling me. Let's join them.
January 22nd, 1973. In one of its most controversial rulings, the U.S. Supreme Court legalizes abortion in the landmark case of Roe v. Wade. Also that same year,
for in your time, we have the opportunity to move not only toward the rich society and the powerful society, but upward to the great society.
Former President Lyndon Johnson dies in Texas at age 64. Johnson's legacy includes civil rights laws, domestic programs such as Medicare, and an expansion of the Vietnam War that divided the nation. 1998, Theodore Kaczynski pleads guilty to being the Unabomber. In return, he gets life in prison without parole. Kaczynski's brother, David.
We are finally at a place where we can begin a process of healing.
1901, Britain's Queen Victoria, whose more than 50-year rule saw the British Empire reach its peak, dies at age 82. 1953, Arthur Miller's drama The Crucible opens on Broadway. Set during the Salem witch trials, the play takes aim at McCarthyism and the Red Scare of the 1950s. And 1968.
And now, folks, it's Suck It To Me time.
And You Bet Your Sweet Bippy, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, the TV comedy classic from the counterculture era, premieres on NBC. Today in History, January 22nd. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,